Hi, I'm Pamela Addy. I have over 45 years in diagnostic imaging experience, most recently as Vice President of Clinical and Ambulatory Services at the University of Maryland Medical System. I also want to make note that I am wearing my Eagles jersey because we'll be playing in the NFC Championship game this weekend, probably against many of your own teams, the 49ers. So we are moving on to week 7, chapter 13, employee relations and retention. I want to make note that employee relationships equals retention. And this is another area where it takes some time up front to establish relationships and establish the culture, but it really is the key to a successful department. Retention is more critical than ever. Diagnostic imaging has a high vacancy rate, and demand continues to rise to the extent of probably an average of 6% per year. Obviously, the baby boomers are creating a lot of the imaging demand. And interestingly, the average age of an imaging technologist today is 41. And over 17% of the imaging technologists are over 50 years old. Another component to retention is the number of opportunities that exist in the profession today. There are more hospitals, more outpatient imaging facilities, physicians' offices that have imaging equipment, equipment companies where technologists can become applications experts, or even salespeople, sales account managers, and teaching institutions, all competing for the same pool of workers. As we have mentioned before, hiring, orienting, and training is inefficient and expensive. We've previously discussed some of the incentives that we use to attract employees, but once we have them hired, we have to be sure that we retain them. And we've already touched on some of the reasons why employee retention is so critical. It is expensive. It creates a lot of poor morale within your department, and it's so inefficient. And besides the obvious cost of turnover, it really causes loss of productivity, which again in itself is a cost, and decreased morale. Slide 8 shows a really good list of behaviors to retain employees. Some of the more critical ones, developing a management team that supports all team members. Treating employees with respect. I cannot emphasize that enough. Recognizing their accomplishments and listening to your employees and then addressing the issues. A good rewards and recognition program is also helpful in retention, and it should be integrated within the culture so that it becomes a natural occurrence. First, identify the core values to recognizing team members, and secondly, it should always be consistent. So remember that the objective of a reward and recognition program is to engage, involve, and motivate your employees. As we noted before, employee engagement equals employee satisfaction. Slide 10 also shows the steps to developing such a program. Identify the values to reward behaviors. We always want to connect the behavior to the core value. Number 2, choose the correct incentives. Communication about the criteria of the program is critical for the employees. You never want employees to say, oh, I didn't know that's what it took. I didn't know that's what I was supposed to be doing. And lastly, provide updates to all team members. So let them see when you're recognizing other employees. An effective rewards and recognition program reinforces the behavior that supports our value. Rewards should always be linked to present accomplishments and not past ones. And recognizing the employee for displaying our core values really shows the team members their value to the organization. And they always really appreciate knowing how they contribute from their job that they're doing, their little corner of the world, how they're contributing to an organization. Slide 12 has a list of the key points in an effective program. Remember, recognition should be as immediate as possible. It must be earned. It must be consistent and unbiased. And most important of all, it should be specific and sincere. Example would be, great job in managing that patient who was scared and anxious. You were able to put her at ease so that you could obtain a great imaging study. So we talked about exactly what behavior we're recognizing in that employee, how it ties to one of our core values of providing excellence in imaging, and the behavior that you were able to exhibit, or the team member was able to exhibit, in order to achieve that. The last thing you want to do is recognize somebody for something that they're not really clear on what they did to earn that recognition. And also other team members see that, oh, if I just took a little more time with my patient, talking to my patient, calming them down, listening to their concerns, answering their questions, that is what is being recognized. I thought I was supposed to work as fast as I could, and throughput was the most important thing. But this way, the team member understands that while throughput is important, patient care is ultimately what we're here for. Employee assistance program. Many employers provide access for their team members for an employee assistance program. This can go a long way in helping them manage issues that actually could be interfering with their job. And these issues could be work issues, maybe some type of conflict in the workplace, or these could be all of the personal issues that we bring to work with us every day that may interfere with getting our job done. And it has been shown, and this is why everybody uses EAP, it has been shown that EAP can help reduce absenteeism, it can reduce errors, and dissatisfied customers or patients, and besides providing individual assistance, I've brought EAP in times when we had I had two different departments who experienced a tragedy in the sudden passing away of a coworker, and I brought EAP in to address the larger group. And initially, people thought, oh, well, okay, that's great, but I don't really need them. But once employees started filtering through and having a conversation with the EAP member who came, everybody recognized that it was extremely valuable. EAP models can include either an internal or an external program. You can read about them here in this slide. This slide also describes the internal model, whereas slide 16 describes the external model. EAP programs continue to be underutilized, so keep this in mind as a resource, because sometimes it's up to us as leaders to really recognize when this could be valuable and to bring it up. It's not something that, oh, here it is on a piece of paper, here's all your benefits. There are times when we really need to promote EAP, and again, we think back to the benefits of what EAP programs can provide, both for the employee and for the organization. So promote the program, but also monitor its success. So if you don't see the effectiveness that you were expecting, I would take the opportunity to suggest improvements, either to your HR department, or if there's an opportunity to provide feedback directly to the EAP department. Of all the things that support employee retention, it is the department culture and the employee relationships that are the most important. As a manager, always be respectful, supportive, and available. Thank you.